Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling. Imagine this. The stadium lights have barely dimmed. The roar of 60,000 fans still echoes in the air. And Liu Yunning, drenched in sweat after a career-defining performance, is sprinting backstage. But he's not heading to celebrate. He's heading straight to Zhao Lusi with one urgent message. Don't walk away, not now. The night was unlike any other. The air inside the Guangzhou Sports Center pulsed with an energy so thick it seemed to vibrate through every seat, every heartbeat. Liu Yunning stood beneath the blinding lights, a solitary figure before a sea of 60,000 voices, each one calling his name. For 2 hours he poured himself into every lyric, every note, as if each song carried a weight far beyond mere entertainment. There was a fire in his delivery, an urgency in his eyes, a sense that this performance meant more than any before it. The audience saw a superstar at the peak of his craft. What they could not see was the quiet storm gathering behind the curtain. Earlier that evening, Zhao Lusi had slipped quietly into the venue through a private entrance. There were no flashing cameras, no crowd of fans pressing forward for a glimpse. She moved like a shadow, unnoticed, as though she were there not to be seen but simply to witness. To the few who caught sight of her, it looked like nothing more than a friend supporting a friend. Yet those close to her knew the truth. She was carrying a decision that could change everything. Whispers had already begun to circulate within the industry. Zhao Lusi, one of the brightest talents of her generation, was considering walking away from the career she had built from nothing. Liu Yunning knew she was somewhere in the building. All through his performance, he thought of the conversations they had never finished, the moments he had let pass without saying what needed to be said. He thought about the project they had dreamed of together, the countless hours of planning, and the shared vision that had once set their imaginations on fire. And he thought of how easily it could all vanish if she chose to leave. As the final note faded and the cheers roared in his ears, he made his decision. There would be no waiting, no hoping the moment might come later. Drenched in sweat, still catching his breath, he left the stage with one purpose. The celebration could wait, the cameras could wait. Somewhere backstage, Zhao Lusi was preparing to disappear quietly into the night, and he was not going to let that happen without a fight. That night was not just a concert, it was a crossroads, and Liu Yunning was determined to meet her there. Backstage, the noise of the departing crowd was still rumbling like distant thunder, but in the narrow corridors behind the stage, everything felt suspended in a tense, expectant silence. Liu Yunning moved quickly, his steps sharp against the concrete floor, his breath still uneven from the last song. When he found Zhao Lusi, she was seated quietly in a small private lounge, her phone in her hands but her gaze unfocused, lost somewhere far away. For a brief moment, the atmosphere between them was warm, the kind that comes naturally when two people who have known each other through both triumphs and struggles meet again. He thanked her for coming, for being there to see what might have been one of the most important performances of his career. She smiled faintly, offering polite words of praise, but there was a distance in her tone, as though part of her was already gone. Liu had heard the rumors for weeks, rumors that she was thinking about stepping away from acting, perhaps from the entertainment world entirely. He had dismissed them at first, telling himself they were nothing more than idle gossip. But the unease in her eyes that night told him otherwise. He felt the shift instantly. The air between them seemed to grow heavier. His voice, once light with post-performance relief, dropped into something quieter, more deliberate. This was no longer small talk. He began to speak, not as a fellow celebrity, but as someone who understood the cost of what they both had chosen. He told her about the whispers he had heard, about his fear that she was truly considering leaving. He didn't accuse, he didn't plead, not yet. He simply asked why. And in her silence, in the way her gaze fell away from his, he found his answer. It was then that his own restraint broke. He reminded her of the dreams they had once spoken of in the early hours of the morning, when the world outside seemed far away and their ambitions felt limitless. He spoke of the project they had built in their minds piece by piece, with the conviction that it would change everything. And finally, he told her what he had not been able to say until that moment, that walking away now would not only end a career, it would erase something they had both fought too hard to create. In that quiet room, the turning point had arrived. One decision, one answer could alter everything. For months, the world had no idea what Liu Yunning and Zhao Lusi had been quietly building behind the scenes. It was more than a collaboration. It was a shared dream that had taken root long before rumors of her departure began to surface. They called it Parallel Worlds, a name whispered only among a small circle of trusted creatives and industry insiders. It was to be unlike anything China's entertainment landscape had ever seen. A seamless fusion of music, cinema, and live performance woven together with cutting-edge technology. The idea was audacious, perhaps even impossible by conventional standards, but that was precisely what had drawn them to it. In its earliest form, the project was born during a late-night conversation on a film set, when the demands of their separate careers had left them both exhausted and craving something new, something meaningful. They imagined a story told across multiple dimensions. A narrative that would live not only on screen but also on stage, in virtual spaces, and in the hearts of audiences who could experience it from anywhere in the world. It was meant to be more than entertainment. It was meant to be an event, a cultural milestone capable of placing Chinese artistry on the global stage alongside the world's most ambitious creative works. Liu had already poured his voice, his compositions, and his performance concepts into the framework, while Zhao had shaped the emotional core of the story with her nuanced character work and instinct for authenticity. Together, they had filmed a secret pilot sequence in a hidden location overseas, blending live acting with immersive augmented reality elements. Those who had seen it spoke of a breathtaking, almost surreal experience that blurred the line between reality and fiction. Investors were already in motion. Major studios had signaled interest, streaming giants were preparing distribution plans, and international festivals had quietly inquired about debut rights. The scale was unprecedented, the potential staggering, and yet, all of it depended on the two of them standing side by side when the cameras rolled for real. That was why the rumors of Zhao's withdrawal had shaken Liu to his core. This was not just a professional loss. It was the dismantling of a vision they had built together, brick by brick, dream by dream. Without her, Parallel Worlds would not simply change shape, it would cease to exist. And in that truth lay the real reason for his desperate plea. Liu didn't talk just about fame or money. He talked about legacy, about the young fans who saw themselves in her courage, her authenticity, her ability to stay true to herself even in the glare of the spotlight. He reminded her that every great journey has its storms, and that sometimes the most powerful act is not walking away, but standing tall and rewriting your own ending. While neither Liu nor Zhao has publicly addressed that night, those close to them say the conversation ended not with a goodbye, but with a promise to think, to reflect, and maybe to take one more step forward together. Could this mean Parallel Worlds still has a chance? Could we be on the brink of witnessing something that changes global entertainment forever? One thing's for sure, this is far from over. And when the next chapter unfolds, you'll hear it here first. If you love stories that inspire, surprise, and keep you on the edge of your seat, make sure you subscribe to Update X24H, turn on notifications, and join our community of drama, music, and film lovers from all around the world. Thank you for watching. And remember, sometimes the most important conversations happen when the lights go down.